I'm assuming the security in the Hunt property, which is 5,000 to 6,000 acres, and in the River Bend, then that must not be a security need because those have been exempted. Am I correct in that assessment?
I'm not familiar with the Hunts having particular land that they own along the border. I'm familiar with the River Bend requirement, and what we did is we looked at the kind of access we have, we looked at the kind of activity that is occurring in those locations, and then made an assessment about where, if the terrain was enhanced, if the terrain feature was enhanced with fencing.
We have two major exemptions, and other property owners are having to litigate in order to get the consultation. I'm assuming in your consultation, those exemptions are something that you felt were environmentally high enough to be exempted.
And I don't think, at least at the headquarters level, we had that type of detailed discussions.
Secretary Chertoff finds the opportunity to visit border areas to the east of the Tohono Nation's lands and to the west of the Tohono Nation's lands, but has never acknowledged our request to come visit us and discuss these issues that are critically important to us as on the nation.
We have identified particular parcel landowners. In some cases, we went to county commissions, local leadership, mayors and such, and informed them about what we knew at the state of the situation about where we were requesting fencing. With about 400 landowners in this area, we're in a situation where just over 270 or so we're ready to proceed. And the balance are in varying forms of ongoing consultation or in some cases the litigation aspect.
It seems that we have a room full of people here that don't agree that they were even informed.
It's pretty much the attitude that, well, we're the federal government, we're the United States government, and you're a Federal Reserve, and so we're going to come in and do whatever the hell we want to do.
The Tohono Nation will never agree to a walled fence. And the primary reason for that, Congresswoman, is the fact that we have 1,500 enrolled tribal members that live south of the international border. We have 9 tribal communities that exist. We have about almost 5,000 people that are eligible for membership in the Tohono Nation's lands.
I remember several years ago when I was there, and there was a concern expressed to me by almost every single person, every single member of the tribe, that the present situation was untenable, that the amount of drug trafficking through the area was certainly that could not be dealt with by the local law enforcement activity or agency involved, number of people that you had employed, that the effect of the drug activity wasn't just simply the passage of drugs through the tribal lands, it was what's happening on the tribal lands, the number of children who had become addicted. Do you not think that if some sort of barrier is constructed that comes up, let's say, to the tribal lands, if it ends there, that does create even a greater threat to the environment and to the tribe itself, because of course it becomes sort of a funnel. That's the whole purpose of what we're trying to do here, is actually funnel people into areas where we can stop them with human resources. But it seems like unless we can progress with some sort of barrier there, that we are potentially, the tribe is open to far more danger and far more destructive elements than it is without something.
Definitely, we are concerned about the influx of human cargo. We are concerned about the influx of drug trafficking. We are concerned about the fact that too many of our tribal members are being bought into that business. We want to be able to see what we can do together, not imposed on, but together in working with the Department of Homeland Security, allowing us to be at the table to discuss these issues with them, allowing us to share with them what impacts their activity is going to have on our nation's lands, allowing us to be able to share with them what sovereignty issues we are concerned about.
In all this process, I don't see the Department of Homeland Security represented here. And I'm not sure why. You indicate there's impact by this illegal migration, but the fences and the roads don't damage that environment?
The roads and fences do damage the public lands as well.
We just tried one of the substitutes in Arizona, the so-called virtual fence. I told the Department of Homeland Security it wasn't going to work. I said, you're going to spend a ton of money with Boeing. You're going to have guys with alligator shoes selling you this radar stuff. They're going to be late. they're going to be way over budget, and in the end, it's going to be a mess. And it ends up with guys in a radar tower trying to vector guys in off-road vehicles down through gullies and through brushland. Whereas if you have the double fence, and it's not a wall, it's two fences with a high-speed road in between, the Border Patrol can move 60 miles an hour on that road. That means in 1 minute, a Border Patrolman who's a mile away, once he's alerted, can be at the scene of entrance. Wouldn't that be desirable for the nation if you also had several ports of entry where members of the tribe, legitimate members of the nation, could come through?
We didn't cross the border crossed us. You know, we have had traditional passage of what is now the international border since time immemorial. We have allowed the establishment of the virtual fence. We have allowed the establishment of law enforcement centers. We have allowed the establishment of beacon lights. We have allowed the establishment of many more activities that the Border Patrol has wanted to establish within our nation's lands, all in the interest of assisting and securing the United States border.
When you talk about the investment, foolish investment in my opinion, of $50 billion on a fence or a wall, doesn't make sense. I'd rather invest that in Border Patrol agents. These guys are trained, they're dedicated, they're professional, and I just can't say enough about the difference between hiring agents and putting up these kinds of barriers. Don't hang a fence around his neck, and of course he's sitting here. I've been in his position before. He's sitting here towing the party line. He's got to, if he wants to remain chief of this sector. We are wasting billions of dollars in the Middle East on a weekly basis. Seems to me like we ought to be able to invest a couple, $3 billion with a partner like Mexico to help manage this border. I think there is that solution.
I was approached by DHS late December of '06, and they made me aware Washington has allowed us to take the fence facet off of that project. Let me get you on a council meeting. They were on our first council meeting of '07, January 9th. They made the same presentation, but with the deletion of the fence facet. To me, it's a park improvement project. We're a 5-member council. We approved that project on a 3-2 vote. After the council meeting, I asked the 2 dissenting council members, what is your issue with this project? We do not trust them. As the president's signature hit the paper on December 26th of 2007, we are no longer bound by the Secure Fence Act. In the state of Texas, where you have such a magnificent natural boundary as the Rio Grande River, we continue to advocate eradicating the Carrizo cane, the salt cedar. That facilitates line of sight to those Border Patrol agents, to the physical banks of the river. Because we've got a kitchen sink with a broken pipe. Instead of sending in a plumber to fix the pipe, which is immigration reform, we keep sending in more mops.
Are you saying that come December 2008, if the border fence is not up here in between Brownsville and Matamoros, all hell is going to break loose?
What we're trying to do is respond to the requests in a timely fashion that we received from Homeland Security for access to the lands.
Because when we have a 2,000-mile border and only 700 miles of fences, they don't think they can go around those 700 miles? Are we doing anything on the Canadian border?
I'm not aware of any specific projects that are ongoing with the Canadian border in regards to fencing as tactical infrastructure.
Are we having any damages done to the fences that have been built now?
If it's not protected or patrolled adequately, that damage will occur. Smugglers will try to defeat any physical infrastructure.
We can't afford to be spending another $20 million like we did on technology in Arizona when our people are having to pay $4 a gallon of gasoline. Taxpayers' money is very sacred money. Go ahead.
Maybe the secretary could get Boeing to waive that fee.